Hi everyone. So today I wanted to talk about basically taking care of yourself from the inside out. And this meaning, when you work on yourself, like in terms of your character, maybe there's something that you struggle with, maybe you get angry too fast, so you work on that so that things don't upset you as fast as it used to. you know um Maybe you're not as patient as you should be, so you work on that. Because I've learned, in terms of my growth and my development, as I've noticed in myself, is that when I work on building my relationship with Christ, in terms of being intentional about, when I read His Word, to apply something to my life, to see each and every challenge that comes to me as an opportunity for me to grow, and decide that I'm going to grow rather than get allow it to get me offended, or to cause me to lose my joy or my peace. I say, what, this is an opportunity for me to grow, and I'm intentional about growing. Then I see growth in myself, I see development in myself. And what I've noticed is that when I grow and I develop as a person from the inside, that it kind of overflows on the outside, and it gives this kind of a glow and brightness, because I guess, and everybody knows this, like, it makes no sense that you just take care of your exterior and you making sure everything is good on the exterior, and then you people, because yeah, when people, the first thing that attracts somebody to you is the physical, right? But then you don't want them to come over there and then you start talking, or they get to know you, and then it's like, okay, and then they back slowly backing away, because it's like, okay, this thing only looks good on the outside, but on the inside it's like, you stay away from this. This is not something that I want to be around, or someone that I want to be around. And you don't want people to be treating you like that, right? You want people to, when they get to know you, they must be more attracted to you, or more drawn to you, because of the person that you are, not just because of how you look on the outside. I'm not saying that it's not important to take care of the outside. It is important. But what I'm saying is that, if you had to put it in proportions, 70% is the inside and 30% is the outside. Because if you just take care of the outside, and the outside is good but the inside is not, people are going to come, they're going to stick around for a while, and then when they get to know you, they're going to ups and go. Or maybe they just stick around for what they can get from you, and that's about it. But they don't really want to you know build a relationship with you. And for myself, I know I want to make sure, I keep telling myself, I want to be even more beautiful on the inside than I am on the outside. Meaning that the person that I am, people must, enjoy being around me. When I'm around, it must be like, I bring cheer, I bring joy. Like, you lift the atmosphere. It mustn't be, oh gosh, Joanne is here again, like, I don't want people to say that about me, and I'm sure that, you don't want people to say that about you either. So my encouragement today is basically to take care of yourself from the inside out. Because when you work on your inside, you find that everything comes together. And I've noticed that about myself too. You notice that stuff on the outside kind of, fall into place, in other words, right? Not saying that you're not gonna try to maybe, like, learn new things, in terms of probably dressing, putting together outfits, maybe getting to learn a new hairstyle. Guys, learn to cut your own hair, or learning to coordinate your wardrobe. Not saying you're not going to learn these things, but your main focus should be on the outside. I think it's easier to fix the outside than it is to fix the inside. So that's the part that you're supposed to be, really working on. The person that you are on the inside. When people get to know you, you want them to be able to stick around, and not to want to say, okay, I was deceived, like they thought, because you don't equate a good looking exterior, sorry, for an good looking internal. Because not because somebody looks good on the outside means that they're a nice person, and not because somebody doesn't look as attractive to you on the outside means that they're not a nice person to be around. Because I've experienced situations where I've met people where, you had this one idea when you see them, and then when you get to know them, it's like, this person is a really nice person. Or you see this person and you think, oh, it's so like somebody I want to get to know, and then you get to know them and it's like, this is somebody that I really want to stay away from, But basically, my encouragement today is to take care of yourself on the inside. Work on yourself. Be intentional about developing yourself. Like if you notice you were weak in a certain area, don't feel bad about it. Just decide, I want to get better. And you know what? It's a hard thing to accept that you have certain flaws, that you're weak in certain areas. But think of it this way. When you accept it, then you can work on it. And then you become better, and it's no more an issue. But if you don't accept it, it doesn't mean that it's not there. And then you don't work on it, then it will always be there, and you would always feel the consequences of it. Even if you try to ignore it, it's still there. So it's better for you to, acknowledge, okay, you know what? I do have a problem in this area and I want to get better. And you know how you get better? By God. I think I talk about this in one of my other videos. God gives you different scenarios and situations for you to work on it. Like, for example, if you struggle with loving people that might be mean to you, you'll find that God is going to allow a lot of people around you that are going to be mean to you, and you got to now show them love. And this is how you strengthen that character. It's like a muscle. If you want to build that muscle, you got to put weights on it, and that's the weight that God is putting on it so you can develop it. And then after a while, certain things don't bother you. You can be able to be free. And I'm telling you guys, I've experienced it, and I'm not saying that it's easy, to face these things and to work on them and be intentional about it when these situations come to you, because it's hard. Lifting, first when you go to start lifting weights, it's heavy, it's really heavy. But if you keep working, and every day you keep working at it bit by bit, it's a saying, like, this wall, you don't just put up this big wall one time. It's a brick and another brick and another brick that makes this big wall. And that's how you work on building that character, on building yourself and getting better. You tackle this situation and you work on it. Like if maybe you're fearful, you struggle with, always being scared of this or worrying about that, worrying about this. You find yourself in a situation where you could worry. You decide, you know what? I want to get better in this area. Let me find scriptures to help me, like, to not be afraid, to see God's promises, to know that, okay, God is going to take care of this, not to worry about this, to know that God is in control. He allowed this. If he allowed this, he allowed this for a reason. You tell yourself things to encourage you and to push you in the opposite direction instead of following the tide and worrying about this thing. You know what? I'm going to swim against the tide. I'm going to decide that I want to get better. I want to get out of this feeling or this behavior of worrying. You're intentional about getting better, and you recognize when a situation comes to you that this situation is targeting this flaw or this weakness that I have, and I want to get better in it. So let me instead of fighting it, let me work with it and get better. And that way you find after a while, and the thing is, it might not happen like this. It might gradually, and then you notice, you know what? This don't bother me anymore. I'm learning to live a more peaceful life because I don't take on stuff. I don't worry as I used to. And you gradually find, like, you know what? I'm getting better. There's progress. Progress is always made. It's always made. And these little steps make a difference. They do make a difference. It's just like developing a bad habit. You start off and you think, oh, this is nothing of it. And then after a while, you can't even help yourself. Just like that, good habits are formed, Anyway, I hope that this video was an encouragement to you. And if you haven't seen my my previous video that talks about valuing your value, where I talked about, not just realizing that, oh, I'm valuable, but actually valuing it by the way you carry yourself and the way you take care of yourself, what you allow to happen to you. And to realize too that there's some people around you that may realize your value, but they just don't value it. So they may not treat you the way that you ought to be treated. And then you might take that and feel as if, because this is how they're treating me, this is what I am, and then you accept that. But the important thing is that you knowing your value and you valuing it so much to know that, you know what, I don't deserve this. I deserve better than this, and deciding to accept nothing less than God's best, basically. Anyway, I hope that this was encouragement to you, and if it was, feel free to share with somebody else. You can like, you can subscribe, you can comment, share your thoughts on this topic. Maybe somebody else might learn from it, I might learn from it. And just feel free to share it with friends if it has been helpful to you and you feel like it's going to be helpful to somebody else. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye.